Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Chopping Onions. Today we are gonna make some Japanese style curry from scratch. I haven't traveled much in my life, but a couple of years ago I had the chance to visit Japan with my wife and we enjoyed the food there a lot. I remember one cold day in Osaka. After walking for a few hours, we stopped to have some lunch at a curry place. They were serving Madras curry that day, a bit on the hot side, but that curry changed us somehow. And ever since I've been trying to cook Japanese curry at home, from what I remember and the help of internet. This is my version of it. I hope you like it. We are doing a chicken curry, so the first thing we need is a chicken, obviously. I am using a free-range one, which I think tastes better, but we have to prepare it first. We start with the thighs, trying to get out as much meat as possible. I make a twist around the joints so it is easier to extract. Then we remove the wings. I like splitting them in halves as well. And then we finish with the breasts. And again, try to take out as much meat as possible, so take your time. And with this remaining carcass, we are gonna make a stock that is gonna be the base of our curry sauce. We take a big pot, we put a splash of oil, then we roast these bones before adding any liquid. Then we add some vegetables. I'm using carrots, peppers and onions. Then we add the water until it covers everything. And don't forget to add the salt. Then when it starts boiling, we put a lid and reduce the heat to a minimum. And leave it cooking for 2 or 3 hours. So typically, you will find vegetables on a Japanese curry, but that is not always the case. I personally like it that way, but my wife prefers the plain curry with the rice and meat and a bit of grated cheese on the top of the sauce. That is also the reason why I cooked some parts separately and then later I mix them based on each one's preferences. We start cutting the carrots that I previously have peeled. We chop it in noticeable size pieces, but you could even make bigger size cubes if you want. I am using this multicolored carrot. To be honest, it was just for the picture. I ignore if there is any subtle difference in flavor between each, although I could pretend there is. Now with the onion, we do the same thing, we cut into medium-sized chunks. We also want to add some potatoes, so we peel some. Then we cut them into cubes, although this time a bit bigger than the other vegetables. Now we take a saucepan and put some vegetable oil, as we don't want to upset Uncle Roger with olive oil. Then we add the onions and the carrots. We saute for 5 to 10 minutes before adding the potatoes. That we cover with some of the beautiful stock that we've been cooking on the side. And we leave it on the heat until the potato is cooked. Now let's start with the most important part, that is the curry sauce. I'm sorry for referencing the croquetas video again, but the process for making curry is quite similar with a few differences. So we make a roux, starting by adding the butter and then the flour. Then we stir it for a few seconds before adding the spice mix. I'm using Madras curry powder here. Ideally, you will use some Japanese brand curry, or you could even make your own blend. I personally don't recommend it, as I have tried making it myself, and it is quite easy to make a mistake and put too much of one spice and ruin it. But if you want to go that route, just keep in mind that 90% of the blend should be a combination of turmeric, cumin, coriander seeds, and cardamon. The rest 10% should be aromatic spices such as fenugreek, cinnamon, pepper, cloves, allspice or nutmeg. Then I will tweak the heat spice independently based on your guest's tolerance to spice. We also add a little bit of tomato puree before adding the liquids. Now we start adding our chicken stock here. As I mentioned before, we need to do it little by little, so we add a ladle full of stock, then we stir it until it's fully incorporated, and we repeat this process until we get the consistency that we want. I tell you that if you are patient and follow this process, you will get a very smooth one with no lumps. But if for whatever reason you mess up, don't worry, just use a blender at the end. And this is the kind of consistency that we are looking for. To finish, we add a splash of soy sauce and optionally some honey. Let's now cook some rice. I'm using sushi rice here. I previously have rinsed the rice with cold water in order to remove the excess of starch. Then we add the water equivalent to 2 parts of water by 1 of rice. Add the salt, and when it starts boiling, put a lid, lower the heat to a minimum, and it should be done in 10 or 12 minutes, stirring occasionally. And now for the chicken cutlets. We're just breading the chicken breast that we prepared at the beginning. To make the breast thinner, I'm putting them inside this plastic bag and then smashing them with a rolling pin. Then we prepare the coating by whisking an egg. Then we add a little bit of salt to the chicken breasts. Then we coat them in the flour, then the eggs, and finally the breadcrumbs. I'm using Panko breadcrumbs, but normal breadcrumbs will do just fine. Let's now deep fry our chicken. We take the oil to a temperature of 170 degrees Celsius or 314 degrees Fahrenheit. We carefully put the chicken inside the oil and we cook both sides until golden. And we're ready for the final assembly. We first add the rice, then the curry sauce, now the vegetables, then we chop the chicken and we put it on the top of the rice. And to finish, I'm just adding some pickled ginger. And this is our chicken Katsu Curry. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up and click on the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. Cheerio!